all riddles are blues, and all blues are sad. And I'm just talking about some blues I've had.
We're back with another episode. Happy Easter.
Hey, so, conscious. Shit getting crazy, y'all. Shit getting crazy. Here we go. Lucid dreams, so I can't be out here living stupid. I love hard, so you could say I was shot by Cupid. Say less, but every now and then I drop my two.
What is up, tribe? We are back with another video. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Happy Resurrection Sunday to all of my Christian folks out there. I hope you are feeling the energy of this holy day. To all those folks who are celebrating Easter and you got your Easter baskets and you're doing your egg hunts and you're painting eggs and all of that, happy Easter to you guys. Listen, I'm feeling the energy of this holy day, and so I just could not make a video. Today's video is going to ruffle a little feathers, so I want y'all to be seated when you are listening to this, okay? Today we're going to talk about Beyonce. We're going to talk about the power of language, the power of absence, and power in general. All right, so get yourself some kava tea and come on in here and sit down somewhere. You hear? But yes, let's jump right into it. I don't want to get lost. I want to drive my point in a short video today. I go into this. We're going to go really deep, so I need you guys to stay with me, okay? I want y'all to stay on the page with me. Don't get lost. I'm going to drive it home. You know, it takes me a while to get there. I'm a slow burn, but here's where we're going. The song Jolene is preceded by the song Daughter. And I'm going to flash some of the lyrics up here. Before I do, let me say this. When I heard the song, I felt as if I had written the song. One, because generally in my everyday life, I'm kind of like a flower. You know, I'm not passive in any sense of the word, but I am what you would call, a lot of people don't know how to judge me because I reserve a lot of my feelings for myself. I keep a lot of things to myself. I process a lot of things. I actually enjoy my alone time. I enjoy me. I enjoy my thoughts. I'm not afraid of feeling anything. But that will get people to think that they can pass by, and it's not until they trip over your foot, all right, that they realize that you were a little bit more dangerous than they thought. All right, it's where I'm going in this video. The song Daughter. Now, granted, I haven't looked at the writing credits, so I don't know who wrote it. I don't know if B has in the Beehive. You guys can tell me who wrote the song down below. But in Hot Wisdom, Elder Eden teaches us that everything that comes out of your mouth, you are responsible for, whether it be in art, in song, in conversation. You are responsible for the words that you utter. Words have power. Those omitted that you haven't said, okay, are just as equally as important as those that you have. And so there's a bit of responsibility that lies on that, whether or not you wrote it or not. When you say it, it now becomes yours. Once the language is expressed from your mouth and those words roll off your tongue and into the ethers, you are now responsible for that into what you have just uttered. So if you say that on this bloody carpet stains something, I don't know, I'm just making up something. But if you say that, all right, it's now become a part of you. And hence why I talked about this a while back about my words and my writings, about how people know my words when they hear them. They may not know it's me, but my words have a certain frequency. Everything you say has a frequency that links it back to you. Even if, okay, even if the words may have come for someone else, once you utter them, they become your own. So you got to be careful, all right? Now I'm going to put the words up here, and I want you guys to follow along with me. And then we're going to ask ourselves the question, and this is why we're doing this video, is it possible that Beyonce that we see, the super mega star, I mean, I don't know another woman who has as much discipline as she does in creating the work that she creates. You have to be operating on some sort of, you know, atmospheric frequency. I don't know where she's at with that. She's somewhere out there in Saturn, Jupiter. I don't know where she's at. She's on a whole nother planet when it comes to her art and her craft and mastering and doing it in such a way that is completely excellent. A lot of us can learn from that piece of her artistry. But there's another side to that. In order to get there, what frequency are you working with on the daily? And now I want to get into these words. So follow with me, okay? Here we go. Your body laid out on these filthy floors. Your bloodstains on my custom couture. Bathroom attendant let me right in. She was a big fan. I really tried to stay cool. Now, I'm not going to tell y'all that in my head I thought your bloody body laid out. Oh, this is what I mean when I say words are so important, because what the brain will do, because remember, it's a predictive tool. So you are already predicting what's next in this text, even though it's not there. So when I say that words are so powerful, those omitted and those that are said, this is what I'm talking about. Before I even looked at the words, I'm reading it. I don't see the word bloody body, but I automatically put that in there. Why is that? Because suggestive words matter too. We'll talk about that in just a second. Let's go to the next clue. Boys and altars, if you cross me, I'm just like my father. I'm colder than Titanic waters. Water. Help me, Lord, from these fantasies in my head. They ain't ever been safe ones. I don't fellowship with these fake ones. All right, I want to go back to boys and altars. If you cross me, I'm just like my father. I am colder than Titanic water. Let me just say this, okay? I think I said this in the book Woman, and I've said this in the book The Return of the Divine Feminine. You are not who you are just because you just showed up one day, okay? You are who you are because of those people who've come before you, okay? And when we are collecting our DNA from our parents, what are we getting from our mother and from our father? All right? So you are who you are because all the women that came before you, your aunties, your grandmothers, and so forth. And if you think I'm lying, perhaps my next video will just go a little bit more scientific so I can prove my points and prove my writings, okay? But you're not just who you are because your face is beautiful in the mirror. You're looking at your grandmother's cheekbones, okay? You might even be looking at your father's nose. What I know to be true is that line right there. For most people, yes, your temperament is partly because of your parents. Even if you don't display the temperament of your father in your everyday waking, walking life, at some point, how he handled conflict, at some point how you saw him handle people who needed to be handled, at some point, that learned behavior will kick in. Hence why Hut Wisdom says primal instincts matter. We cannot avoid or we cannot act as if outside of our intelligence and being in these human bodies that are masterfully created, that somewhere in there are those deep, dark, primal urges that will raise up when the need is there. So, before I make my point, let me go on to this next one, and I hope you're following. I sashayed my dress, did my best impression of a damsel in distress. This alcohol and smell of regret allured my catch. Outfit too small to hide my scars, feeling bottled up like bottle service broads. Feeling bottled up like bottle service broads. I sashayed my dress, did my best impression of the damsel in distress. Beyonce, you out here watching femininity videos? Let me find out. Anyway, this alcohol and the smell of regret. Hang that tight right there, right? Hang it right there. How long can he hold his breath before his death? Now, I think that has something to do with something else, but hang tight. Are you picking it up? Or is this just some song that she just sung? She had no attachment to it, no feeling, no connection, nothing at all. Someone else wrote it for her. She sung it because she thought it was going to be a good look for the new album, Cowboy Carter. Or perhaps a little bit of what's in here could have been written by her. We're just saying perhaps, allegedly. Perhaps some of it is what she actually went through and felt. Was there really a body on the ground? Was there really a sashaying of this dress? Were there really people thinking, you're nothing like your father? Hold on, we got a little bit more to do. Say I'm nothing like my father, but I'm the furthest thing for choir boys and altars. Double-cross me, I'm just like my father. I'm colder than Titanic water. Do you hear that? Say I'm nothing like my father, but I'm the furthest thing for choir boys and altars. Double-cross me and I'm just like my father. Let me tell you something. And I know for a fact people are not going to want to look at this as a collective perhaps way of being. But if we are truthful and honest and we remove Beyonce's celebrity and we make her just a regular girl from around the way, just for a second, all right, we're not going to take her off a pedestal. We're going to just make her just a regular girl for just a second, just so we can get this thought out there, okay? Are you like your father in any way when it comes to your personality? In any way, I mean, to the smallest minute detail, do you have any characteristics remotely close to that of your father? I'll give you one of my own. I'm easily a recluse. My father is that way. He has always been that way. He's a recluse. He reads books. That's his thing. He reads and he's gone on his life. I own that piece I've gotten from my father. All right? I have more in common with my dad than I have with my mom. My mom was alive and full of life, and she's the life of the party, and she's funny as all hell. She's out front. She's making friends. Everybody knows her. She's a fighter, a real fighter, okay? She was a martial artist and a boxer. All right? But me, as the daughter, somehow did not get those things from my mother. I got most of who I am from my father. His temperament, I have that also. This is us being honest, okay? Let's take Beyonce out of the state of Beyonceism. All right? Let's take her and make her a regular girl from around the way. And let's look at it as this. Let's look at you. Is there any part of you remotely close to your father? I mean, even the smallest thing, how you drink your coffee in the morning. Did he have his black and now you like yours black? All right? Is it the way he say his prayers? And me and my dad we say our prayers the same exact way. I didn't do that intentionally. Those things we pick up and it becomes a part of who we are. My father's temperament, I have, and I try to tell people that all the time. Please don't mess with me. Karima is so nice. She's so sweet. Right? But there's a part of me that's like my father. He's planned, well thought out. You'll never see him coming. And I'm not saying that I am not Karima, removed from my father. But what I'm trying to get everyone to understand is that you're not who you are as a soul individual. All that you have become and all that you have, are destined to become, you have already been already. I've been saying that forever. All that you are destined to become, you've already been that. You've been working for that, refining for that, heading towards that. But all of that you are is based on where you've come from. So, the question that was asked to me, do you think that Beyonce is a little bit different than the woman that we've gotten to know, that she's letting us in? You know, she only gives you a sneak peek. And do you think she has the capability of doing something sinister to protect her family? And I said, I'll make a video about it. Because I know one thing to be true. Human beings are severely complex but simple in a way. I don't know if that makes any sense. But when you're making a conscious decision to be different, you're making a conscious decision every day to be different than those, people that you come from. That means every day you're making a conscious effort not to be primal. And that's to be awarded. That's to be applauded. That's to be celebrated. Because when the need arises and you need to protect your family, you might go into mode dad. How did your dad handle it? How did your brothers handle it? How did your uncles handle it? How did your mama handle it? You already have a stored memory. You have a Rolodex. And your brain just goes through the Rolodex and starts to pick, and it pulls it out. My mother told me long ago never to say what you are not going to do. Never say ever out of your mouth what you are capable of doing, because you don't know it until it comes, because it might not even be you that makes the action. Now that I am as of my own age, I know now what she meant. There could be an action that you take tomorrow that when you think about it, you say, what in the world was I thinking? Who was I? And I'll be darned to say, perhaps you were your father's brother. Perhaps you were your father, capable of doing just about anything. That's my point today. Words have power. And so to answer that person's question on whether I believe that Beyonce has the capacity to be something darker, darling, according to Elder Eden, we all have that capacity, okay? Hence why Elder Eden ran into the kingdom, burned it down to the ground, put her blade in the chief's neck and sliced it. That was the whole purpose of that part of the book, is to explain that what you think might be a delicate flower might have the capacity to be what Elder Eden was the day she killed. All right? So, and I'm saying that so that everybody can understand, and perhaps this will kind of help with some of the conspiracy theories. Oh, Beyonce did this and she did that for Jay-Z. Listen, a woman in love is capable of doing anything, a multitude of things. And perhaps one day I'll share a story. I was writing a book a long time ago that I never got a chance to finish. Where I was trying to uncover why women would go so far, or how they would go so far. And I got so many documents that I was able to collect over the years to prove to me why this phenomenon will happen. I remember getting a story, and I'm going off topic here, but I'll bring it back around in just a second. I remember talking to this girl, and I don't want to reveal her name, but she was talking about how she ended up outside of her then child's father's home with a bat, waiting for him to come outside because there was another woman inside. And when I asked her, did you see yourself getting to that point? She says she does not remember even getting in the car, getting there. All she remembers is being there and then the police arriving. So there's a moment in her mind where it snapped, and there's nothing that she remembers. Intelligence goes out the window. All right? So when someone says, does Beyonce have the capacity to do something sinister? The answer to that is Elder Eden already told us that. This is why she told us to be careful when we are falling in love. That falling in love is a real true thing. To trip and fall into something, you trip and you fall into that thing, all right? That is, something that even your brain has trouble trying to help you solve. Because falling in love is a chemical thing, darling. And we'll talk about that in another video. So do I believe she has the capacity to do something evil? Well, the song said, cross me, and I'm just like my father. Until next time, be empowered, be inspired, and be well. Y'all be easy now.